January activities. Happy New Year. This month is going to be a little quiet. Friday, January 2nd, that's past. Monday, January 5th, that's past. So here we are on Friday the 9th at 2 p.m. The Southern Gospel Group has scheduled a performance for us in the chapel. On Monday the 12th at 1:30, Ellen Powell will have a flute ensemble in the chapel. On Thursday, January 15th at 10 a.m., we have a winter brunch. This will be held in the dining room. Again, that's on the 15th at 10 a.m. And Friday, January 23rd at 2 p.m. is our January's birthday party. Everyone is invited to celebrate with some cake and ice cream. And if you are celebrating your birthday this month, please plan on coming to the dining room at 1:30 for group and individual pictures, only if you would like to have one. Monday, January 26th at 2:30, we will go to the Cracker Barrel for an early dinner. Please meet in the lobby if you have signed up. And finally, on Friday, January 30th at 2 p.m., we'll have a movie in the chapel with fresh popcorn and soda. And that's from Christine Supp, the activity director. And I would add one thing here regarding the birthday parties. She has circulated a flyer, I think it was a door drop, everyone should have gotten one, for people to vote up or down on whether they want to have music during the birthday parties. And you're asked to circle yes or no on it as to whether you want to continue to have music on the birthday parties. Finally, moving on to gift shop news by Debbie Harrington. Another year of fun and glory to God and fun for all of us. As you know, the gift shop is a joyous place. It is full of fun gifts and fun cards. If you need to have a good laugh, stop in and we will be able to communicate that. And I'll say this, I pass the gift shop 3 or 4 times a week, and there's always a group in there chatting away. We are known to share jokes too. If you have a special joke to share, we are more than willing to lean an ear your way. Maybe the music will even put a pep in your step. While you are here, be sure to seize the moment and purchase a snack or gift for a friend. Happy New Year to everyone. God bless.
And this is submitted by Charles Nemeth, and it concerns the Low Vision Group. Please note the meeting day has been changed. Beginning Friday, January the 2nd, we missed that.
No.
We will be meeting in, we missed the 2nd of January.
Yeah, they missed that.
We'll be meeting at 1:30 p.m. in the chapel. So we have missed that, but we'll also have a large print calendar for each of you for the New Mexico State Commission for the Blind, and that would have been nice to have. Yeah. And did they have the calendars printed then from the Commission for the Blind? No, I guess. No. Rachel Hance is introducing herself in the next paragraph. She is our new chaplain, and she wants to remind us that her new office is in the healthcare building on the 2nd floor, right off the main elevator. Even though I'm housed there, I'm still the chaplain for the whole campus, and I will be on the apartment side several times during the day. My hours are 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock, Monday and Friday, through Friday. And you can always reach me at my direct extension, and she gives her number, or you can email me. And she presents her email address too, which we'd be happy to give you if you don't have it and need it. Ben Mary Gruby has submitted the next article called Living Life as We Intend. Living an intentional life means directing our finite resource time, energy, attention, and money toward the things that matter most to us, however we define them. It's not a small or one-time decision. Living with intention is a way of viewing and conducting life every day that shapes every aspect of us. Each morning offers us a fresh set of hours, strength, focus, and dollars, so we're required each day to answer the question, will I spend the day on things that matter, or will I let them slip away on distractions? Messages and voices bombard us daily, and not all of them have our best interests in mind. We're told to buy more to be happy, hustle harder to make more money, scroll endlessly to stay connected, waste our lives chasing this or that, and directing our attention over here, there, and everywhere. Deep down, though, we know what pursuits are worthwhile in one life we have, and which ones leave us empty inside. Intentionality counters drifting and distraction. Awareness is the pathway to traction. By pausing to reflect through devotion, mediation, solitude, a walk, a conversation, or simply asking, is this what I want my life to be? We begin to reclaim our focus. Intentionality empowers us to say, this is my life, and I'll choose what it stands for. If I don't, someone else will. And that actually was written by a man named Joshua Becker.
This is a submission by Vanessa Jackson, the clinic nurse. Dear Mazaano Soul residents, we are updating our process as well as our records when it comes to private caregivers. The records that were once kept in resident services will now be kept in the clinic, and I will ensure that they are up to date. If you are receiving help from a caregiver, whether it is private or through a company, he or she must complete the private attendant registration and release packet, as well as come down to the clinic and have a copy of his or her driver's license taken. Even if the same caregiver is working with several of you, each resident must complete the packet. So if you have any questions, please call me or stop in at my office. Thank you, Vanessa Jackson. This is an article written by Sharon Christensen, United Women in Faith. United Women in Faith invited any interested women to join us for a special time of fellowship. We meet the fourth Tuesday each month in the hobby room from 1:30 to 3. Our January meeting will be on the 27th. For questions or to RSVP, please call or text Sharon Christensen. And that's 1 to 3. Okay, that's that. And finally, as something by me, I'm a bit interested in history. So this is something about New Year's celebrations. Why do we as individuals celebrate New Year's? Brings to mind a phrase from Fiddler on the Roof. Why do we do it? I don't know why. It's tradition. New Year has been observed on various dates since 2000 BC by cultures all over the world, and for a variety of reasons, many relating to the positions of the earth, the sun, and the moon, and often as an agricultural holiday. After 153 BC, the official date was January 1st per the Julian calendar. But in medieval Europe, it was celebrated on March 25th, which was the feast of the Annunciation. Then on December 25th in Anglo-Saxon England, and later changed back to January 1 in 1582 by William the Conqueror, and that was according to the Gregorian calendar. Note that the date changes were often by decree. Various cultures also have their own New Year, such as the Jewish Rosh Hashanah between September 6th and October 5th, celebrating the biblical story of creation as the first day. Virtually all over the world, the reason for and the date of the New Year's celebration varies for cultural and religious reasons. For example, the Chinese celebration is rooted in lunar moon traditions. Egyptians celebrate the flooding of the Nile, which is an agricultural celebration. And in Spain, it is customary to eat 12 grapes at midnight for good luck. Here in the U.S., two things are often noted. One is the two-faced Roman god Janus, for which January is named, and he was two-faced because one face was looking back and another next face was looking forward.
The New Year.
Also in the United States, it's frequent to sing an old Scottish ballad, Auld Lang Syne, which means old long since. The popularity of the song in the U.S. is often credited to band leader Guy Lombardo, remember, and his Royal Canadians, who played it every year on his broadcasts between 1929 and 1976.
Wow. Wow.
So if you've got a new reason for celebrating New Year, join the crowd.
Well, the next article is written by our friend Charles Nemeth and entitled, Kids Do Funny Things. Woke up the other night, lying there, my thoughts wandered from one thing to another, and then it came up with some things we did as kids. I'll tell you about three. I can make no cogent explanation of how these came to be, just accept that kids can come up with the darndest things. First, someone came up with the idea that we should all carry a rock in our pants pocket. The rock was the one that you could put your finger around, but not heavy enough to be a problem. As I remember, we carried rocks for the entire summer. It did not recur the following year. Then there were automobile tires. Each one of us had a used tire, which we rolled along beside ourselves as we walked or ran down the streets and fields. How this started, I do not know. But you had to have a tire or you could not play with all those who had one. One boy, Larry, had an uncle who owned a race car. He sported a used race car tire, completely bald, and he became the leader of the group. As I recall, we had this tire mania for some years. And then one day as we were playing baseball, the cover came off the ball and we could no longer repair it. One boy remarked that he had a golf ball, and he went home and brought it back. We began to play baseball with a golf ball. If you connected, you would hit it almost 100 yards. This from 8.9 and 10-year-old kids who were ourselves out chasing fly balls, and to mention running the extended bases. Looking at it seems ludicrous that someone would do such things, but boys will be boys. Later, as an early teenager, we moved out into the countryside. We had 6 large black walnut trees in the front yard along the road. Vince, my brother, and I made ourselves the old sling, such as David used to slay Goliath. And one end of the thong was tied around your wrist, and in the center was the leather piece to hold the projectile. You held the other end of the thong with your hand, twirling the sling vertical in a circle. You generated tremendous power. The trick was learning to release the thong at the proper moment. We soon were sailing walnuts across the road and over the roof of a barn some distance from the road. Vince became quite accurate and could usually hit what he was aiming at. I had more trouble. The supply of walnuts in their husks were almost endless. Ah, those were the days.
I'd like to make a quick...
And Mary Gruby from 1 Corinthians 13, 4-7 in the Bible has submitted love. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things. Love never fails.
All right. The next article is entitled Snow, and it's written by Barbara Noyes O'Neill. I woke today to a world covered in white. The trees were lowering from the weight except for the fir, which was standing tall. It brought back some memories of my youth of sledding, building snowmen and snow forts, the fun of snowball fights, and the shoveling of walkways. I don't remember that as being fun. Okay. It was truly a fun land for young and old. It is now time when Grammies bring out their knitting needles to make warm sweaters and hats for the family. We sometimes laughed at her creations, but we wore them to keep it warm. Let it snow. Next article is submitted by Betty Logan, and it is entitled Grief. The journey of grief can be frightening and lonely. However, it is not a road that must be traveled alone. The process of grieving involves several physical, emotional, and spiritual stages. Learning and sharing feelings with others who are experiencing a similar loss can lessen the pain of isolation, providing hope and support instead. One never gets over the death of a loved one, but it does become possible to live with the grief that follows. All are welcome to join us. The grief group meets on Tuesdays at 1:30 in the library. Now we have one submitted by Mary Gruby, and before I read it, there is what I'm going to say is a typographical error in here. It mentions a date 1915. The date should be 1615. Okay. Pocahontas Matatoka was the daughter of the chief of the Powhatan tribe in Northeast America. In winter one day, part of the tribe was traveling on horseback through snowdrifts. They kept warm in the cold with skins and woven patched ponchos, as was their custom in cold weather and the close company of tribe members. As they plowed through the snow, then in 1615, out of nowhere, appeared some Englishmen on horseback who were not yet in the New World. And you will recognize that as being true because even though there were two settlements of short duration, well, one of them was very short, in the U.S., it was only a few years later, 1620, that the Pilgrims landed. Okay? So 1615 was not much before that. They took her hostage. We're speaking of Pocahontas here. They took her hostage and converted her to Christianity. She became an intermediary between the Powhatan people and English colonists at Jamestown. Jamestown was one of the very first settlements. She potentially saved the life of John Smith and later brought food to the struggling settlers. One, John Rolfe, took a fancy to her and took her for his wife. John Rolfe was a rather wealthy tobacco farmer. She was thereby exposed to illnesses of the English, such as tuberculosis, smallpox, and influenza, and also weakened by inadequate clothing cover in the cold. She lived with him for some years and bore him 2 children and traveled with him, but she was always lonely for her tribe. She died in childbirth with the second child. And I might add that this problem with people of non-European origin, I'm going to say not just non-English, being exposed to tuberculosis, smallpox, and influenza had a devastating effect.
January birthdays. Barbara Kurz is passed, and I didn't know that. Anna Kramer was on the 2nd of January, and Betty Saunders and Richard Stamm will share January 8th. Pauline Baker is the 18th. Thomas Samuel, the 18th. Some of these names you'll recognize from your floor. David Smoker is having a birthday on the 22nd of January. And David Shea has the same birthday. That's interesting.
Well, I always find that interesting.
Yeah.
2 people with the initials
Yes.
have the same birthday.
And then Rita Watkins will be on the 26th. Edna Kassman, our wonderful artist, is on the 27th. And Martha Meister will end the month on the 31st. And she's up on the 6th floor as well. And Rodney, you and Janelia are having a wedding anniversary. Which one?
25th, and I would like to add a couple little things here, okay? Put together a flyer that we'll probably make a door drop of, and says, come join us in the chapel on Tuesday, January 27th, from 2 to 4 p.m. And that, what I just read, that's an open invitation to everyone.
All right, lovely. We'll try to remember the 27th. for the
Well,
chapel.
it's the day.
Yes,
yes,
of your
okay.
anniversary. And then we have a new resident, Virginia Mueller. I have not met her yet, but she's on the second floor. And then if you're interested in learning more about the little iPad, many of you have seen me taking pictures around Mazaano, and this is by Nancy Weaver. And I'm using a 12.5 Apple iPad. If you're interested in learning about the iPad and all the things that it will do, I'll be glad to schedule a class soon. It's a wonderful device, and she gives her phone number and her email address, and then she also reminds us that she's in apartment 511, so we can contact her 3 ways if we're interested in learning more about the iPad. And I have enough trouble with my just plain old 20-year-old Apple computer.
Okay, the following is sort of a calendar of events. I will move over it quickly. We were supposed, according to this, we were supposed to read the Apple Barrel last week, but we all missed it, so here we are this week. The book van comes here on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The food committee, I don't think any of us are part of that, but maybe some of our listening audience is. The second Thursday of each month at 9 o'clock here in the library. Tai Chi with Christine, that's Monday through Friday at 9 o'clock in the chapel. Project Linus meetings will be canceled for the month of January. Residence Council has already taken place. Library Committee meeting is January 14th, and it is the second Wednesday of each month at 10 o'clock here in the library. Community Education, Wednesday 21st at 3 p.m. Meditation, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 9:30 in the hobby room. And bingo on Wednesdays at 1 o'clock in the chapel.
January ministry schedule. We're back to having a really full schedule now with pastors on every Sunday except the 18th, and that will be announced or decided. And Wednesday night services are, we'll have pastors every night of the week, January 7th, 14th, always on that date, which would be on Thursday, I guess. Catholic services, first and third Monday at 10 o'clock, and every second and fourth Monday at 10, and meeting to say the group rosary. Then Mary Lombardo submitted an article on meditations. And so when it says that you're interested, if you're interested in meditations, this will tell you how to find them. An invitation to peaceful relaxation, a sunny beach, a windswept ocean, a walk through a forest of towering trees, or just time to set aside any worries or troubles and know that all is well. That's what meditation offers. A mental trip to another world where for 30 minutes you can relax and focus on your well-being and that of the ones you hold dear. There are many meditations that you can find online and do by yourself, but there's something special about meditating with others present. There's a kind of energy that travels through the group, making for a more meaningful experience. And the more you practice meditation, the greater the enjoyment and benefits, among which are reduced stress and anxiety, improved emotional health, enhanced self-awareness, healthier sleep patterns, and overall wellness. The meditation group meets 3 days a week in the hobby room at 9:30 a.m. Barbara Laswell leads the group on Tuesday and Thursday, and Richard Stam is the leader on Wednesday. You're invited to join us for a new experience, which might turn out to be one of the best gifts that you give yourself for the new year. And again, that's by Mary Lombardo. So those are the two leaders, Barbara Laswell and then Richard Stam. Footprints, submitted by Ron Friedrich. Some people come into our lives and quickly go. Others stay for a while and leave footprints on our hearts, and we are changed forever. Written by Flavia Whedon.
One is thank you. I want to thank the many Mazaano friends for the cards, hugs, and good wishes you sent to me to help celebrate my recent 102, yes, that really is 102 birthday. Also, many thanks to my amazing daughter Susan and her talented husband Chris for all they did to make my birthday a memorable red latte day. Many, many thanks to all of you for making the day, I think that should be, so exciting for me. Gracias. And this is by Helen Anderson. Library. The library committee is hoping to make the library again a warm and welcoming space. We're looking for a couple of new members to help bring that about. If you are interested in joining us, please the place to come is to our library January meeting. It will be held in the library on January 14th at 10 a.m., and this is written by Carrie Lee. Come see Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins will be flying into Rhodey Theater at UMM with landmark musicals in 2026. Come see me perform in the ensemble during the run of the show from March 14th through 29th, 3 weekends. Tickets are already on sale, and this is written by Reverend Rachel Hance. And here's something I'll read, but Norm, you might want to add to it. It says, don't throw away your Christmas cards. Please save them for me to use in our 2026 Christmas Carol production. Leave them in the box at my door, 4th floor, 438. If you want them returned, just indicate. I'll photograph the front cover to use in the Christmas Carol for 2026. And this is by Norm Ribble. All right, and then finally on this page, an article written by Mary Gruby. Letting go of having our way. To the degree that we can relinquish personal preference, we free ourselves from win-lose thinking and the fear that feeds on it. It is that freedom that helps a team go to the Super Bowl. Freedom may be a stronger position than control. It is certainly a stronger and far wiser position than fear. There's a fundamental paradox here. The less we are attached to life, the more alive we can become. The less we have preferences about life, the more deeply we can experience and participate in life. Embracing life may be more about tasting than it is about preferring raisin to toast or blueberry muffins. More about trusting one's ability to take joy in the newness of the day and what it may bring. More about adventure than having your own way.
Well, Nancy Weaver has written the next rather long article. Opinion: crossing the desert is better than putting up your holiday lights. Crossing the desert's easy. You have your trusty compass, your GPS, or the North Star to guide you. You steer your camel, jeep, or air-conditioned recreational vehicle right across the desert. You're on the other side in no time. Nothing to it, right? Right. Now, it's December. House decorating time. You go into the basement or the attic or the garage and you dig out 3 boxes marked outdoor holiday lights. You decide to start with the artificial electric outdoor tree. It's easy. Do that last, your wife says. You won't get tired. I'm already tired. All you did was take out 3 boxes. Your wife insists that you start with the lights that trim the house. Not the lights on the house, they're hard. That's why we do the lights on the house first, she says. Oh, fine. And you start to climb the ladder, lights in hand. Aren't you going to test them first? You stop. They worked last year. That was 48 weeks ago. You better test them before we put them up. They're prob test. We're not putting them up twice. Okay, fine. To test the lights, you unroll the last year's lights and spread them out on the lawn. 2 of the strands don't light. See, she says. You sigh, off to the hardware store where they're sold out. You should have bought them before Thanksgiving. You drive to 3 more stores before you find any outdoor lights. You buy 2 extra boxes. This is not your first rodeo. You replace the dead light strings in the middle. You hand your wife the plug. Yes, they light. You leave them plugged in and up the ladder you go with lit lights in hand. You hook the lights on the first 2 nails. They're hanging there too loose. They'll sag, she says. They look okay. They don't look okay. Come down and you'll see. Down the ladder. Fine, they don't look okay. They sag. Back up the ladder and you pull them tighter. You can only reach 2 nails, but if you reach out, you can almost reach that 3rd nail. Stop, you're going to fall. Hold the ladder, I'll be fine. I can't hold the ladder, you weigh 210 pounds. 2 more seconds, I've almost got it. No, you don't almost got it. You reach way out. If you fall, I'm going to kill you. The ladder shifts. Your wife screams in terror. Fine. You climb down, move the ladder 5 feet, and back up the ladder. Be careful. I'm careful. You almost fell. Not really. The ladder moved. I did that on purpose so I could reach out. You reach out again and I'll be calling 911. I won't fall. You'll fall. And you'll be spending the holidays in a hospital bed and you don't like hospital food. Who does? Just don't reach out. Fine. You hook the lights on the next 2 nails and move the ladder along. Thank you. You're welcome. The iciest thank you. You're welcome ever uttered. Your wife drops the lights and walks back into the house. Uh-oh. Your house sinks. She comes back out wearing a warmer coat and carrying a new strand of lights. Your heart soars. She still loves you. An hour and 45 minutes later, 5 more ladder moves, 3 more heart-pounding cries from your wife, and the lights are up. She still loves you, but maybe she doesn't love you quite as much as she did this morning. And that's why crossing the desert is better than putting up your holiday lights. Submitted by Nancy Weaver. Who cooks for you? This is written by our bird lady, Judy Liddell. And she's talking about Mazaano's white-winged doves. White-winged doves are found all over your grounds in the courtyard, around the parking lot, and in front of the building. They like to eat seeds at your bird feeders. Whether they're perched on or flying, the white band of feathers on its wings provide a prominent field mark. They nest many times during the year, starting in mid-January when they start singing, "Who cooks for you?" and continuing through the mid-July. When I visited a friend in healthcare last summer, she excitedly told me that when she was brought into her room, she heard a barred owl. I had to explain that we don't have barred owls here. And she was hearing a white-winged dove. Their calls are almost identical. Unfortunately, they're not sturdy nest builders. Their nests are often a few twigs, maybe with some grass on top, on a ledge or in the fork of a tree. This makes the eggs vulnerable if there's a heavy wind, but undeterred, they'll start all over again. Notice the eyes of the white-winged dove above, and during the nesting period, their red eyes are outlined with pale blue eyeshadow. And she has a photograph she submitted that she took here in April of 2024.
Okay, the last page then is on wellness, and this is written by the wellness director, Crystal Lopez. It's a new year, and we have some exciting things to offer in our wellness program. We had a grand reopening party of our lovely new wellness center. It's the perfect opportunity to be intentional this year on your health and wellness and join our January Health Challenge. Here is how it works. You gain points for participation in various activities in our wellness program. You will have a scoreboard up for our wellness center track points, and you can earn at the end of the month. We will add up the scores and give out some fun prizes. Point system. 1 point for participating in senior sports or brain games. 2 points for each class attended, and points for bringing a friend to a class they have never attended. And finally, this is a little late for some of us, I'm afraid. Latin dance classes. We learned all about the amazing benefits of music and dance in our December wellness seminar, and now we're offering the opportunity to experience the benefits of our new Latin dance classes in January. This will be a 4-session class where we'll learn various styles of Latin dances and music history. At the end of the sessions, we will have a Latin dance party. No experience and no partners are needed. There will be modifications for all levels. Schedule all classes will be from 10:30 a.m. to 11:15 a.m. And they're on the 7th, the 14th, the 21st, and the 28th. And they're going to be teaching salsa basics, cumbia basics, merengue basics, and bachata basics. And I don't remember any of them. And the only ones I remember are the cha-cha and the mambo.
That might be fun, and we receive that activities sheet for the month. We can find out exactly where to be in the new wellness center at under Crystal. Excellent leader. And Ruth, she was not mentioned, but Ruth is there, very active.
So, and still, in case you are still recording, bye everybody.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.